My name is Arnold Benson. I'm a fellow Charlestonian. Graduated from Burke High School in 1969. Entered the Citadel in 1969. My major was double E, electrical engineering.
Great. And how did you first hear of the Citadel?
Fellow Charlestonian, Burke High School, Bulldogs, Citadel Bulldogs, all in the same vicinity and environment. So that's what I know about it.
And what led you to decide to join the Corps of Cadets?
Well, my initial career choice was going to a tech school and just majoring in some kind of electronic technology. However, my math teacher, as well as one of my guidance counselors, they kind of worked on me. I always told them I didn't have the money to go to school. He said, well, if we get you the money, will you go? I said, where are you thinking about me going? He said, the Citadel. I said, fine, if you find me the money, I'll go. Of course, they found me the money, and I went. And that's how I ended up going.
And what was your impression of the Citadel when you arrived on?
First impression, you're in an open quad. Yeah, you at a table, signing your name, and you hear screaming in the background. Someone's being yelled at, of course. And I thought, well, this is going to be like joining the service, boot camp, etc. So that was my impression of it. It's going to be some type of boot camp school.
Did your family come with you?
Probably not. They probably dropped me off and sped off.
Are there any interactions that you had with Charles Foster as a cadet that you could share with us?
Probably not. I was in C Company, 1st Battalion. He was in G, I think, 2nd Battalion. As a freshman, you don't enter into other company areas within that barracks as well as within another barracks. Now, you can get past the first floor. However, if you got to go up the stairs, you're in trouble. If someone sees the C letter on your hat, you're in trouble. So, no, I didn't have any real interaction with him for that specific reason. I may have spoke with him one time in passing, and that's probably was it. That's the best I can even remember for that. Like for that first reason, I couldn't visit him, and I don't remember. If he visits me, I don't remember it.
As the first and only African-American cadet on campus his freshman year, how do you think Charles Foster felt?
Alone. He was by himself. He was the only one there as a black person, and he may have been able to talk to some of his classmates to some small degree, but not on the degree as a black person. So he was alone. Quite sure he was very much alone. I felt alone for him. I can feel that now when I do think about it, because you're the only person there. And you're in an all-male school with a rigorous freshman system. And you also have you have your classmate against you, some for you, of course. Then you have upperclassmen that are against you to some degree for their own, mindset. So it had to have been real tough for him, in my book.
How would you describe your own experience?
My experience probably wasn't as tough because he'd already paved the way. That helps a lot. I came 4 years later, so he'd been there for 4 years, 3 years at least. My experience, I think I was able to balance between the harassment or the push-ups or the sit-ups or the PT and the drill with the courses that I had. I was in a double E, so you're carrying a lot of hours, the most. 19, 20 hours, whereas everybody else was carrying 16 and 17 maybe. And whatever physical thing I endured, I don't think it was that much. No one really never beat it on me. I mean, I did the push-ups. We had a little sweat party here and there, but for me, it wasn't a big deal. Now, I know in some of the other cadets, they may have had some real physical problem with somebody. And I don't know, I can't speak to that because I didn't have that in Charlie Company. I went through the same thing everybody else did. No one picked on me, just on me, religiously or purposely. If they did, I didn't recognize it. To me, it wasn't a big deal. So for me, I was good with it. But that's based on the company I was in.
And what was your impression of the Citadel after your 4 years?
After I graduated, my impression of it was, okay, I went to this school for 4 years. This is a prominent school in South Carolina. And my thought was it had some prestige in it. And for me, with hopes of getting a good job inside South Carolina as well as outside South Carolina. So my impression was, if I apply almost anywhere in South Carolina, I'm good.
So our last question is, in your opinion, why is it important that we remember Charles Foster today?
You always remember the first. There's no doubt about that. I don't care whether you're the first to go to the moon, are you the first to, break the, to fly a jet somewhere overseas for 20 hours, whatever. You always remember the first. And as a black man, you have to remember the first in South Carolina because you're going through, he went through the integration period where they started integrating to other schools, high school as well as college. So as a black person, you do remember the first black this or the first black that. That's just typical. But you always remember the first regardless, no matter what it is. So yeah, you have to remember Charles Foster as the first black cadet to graduate from the Citadel. Just like Air Force Academy, West Point, Indianapolis, Naval Academy, they have first too as well. So yeah, you always remember the first.
Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.